Hey everyone, and welcome back to Aska. This will be episode 4, I believe, off the top of my head. Aska, the survival Viking game on Steam. Just released a brand new update today. Hopefully we can get to some of that new content between the Sea Raiders and it. Anyways, we're currently in winter. We only have one day left. I was just doing a bunch of gathering, kind of lost track of time. Plus, we had an issue. Somebody unpaused my game, I'm assuming, while I wasn't at home. We had to rebuild the village. Luckily, my brother was available, so I got him to come help me. And we rebuilt it mostly exactly like the original, except that we added a second warehouse in the back and one extra cottage. And then because it's winter, I went ahead and put a fire over here so our melee guys in the barracks can continue training because the heat reaches all the way over here where they're working at, so they're not constantly going back and forth. Besides that, we're doing pretty good. Our guys are staying fairly happy. We're not having a lot of issues. If we press tab, we can go and check that out. The gatherer's hut's at 74, probably because he's cold all the time. There's not a lot to do. And then here, woodcutter's doing great because there's plenty of wood to gather right now while we're making so many fires. This guy's still unhappy, but like I said, he's always unhappy. We're probably just gonna get rid of him at some point. Everybody else is sitting at about 100, depending on how cold they get and how hungry they are. So I've just been cooking up a bunch of food for them so that I can level my cooking level. And at the same time, I've been cutting down trees and slowly getting ready to expand, so hopefully we can get into walls really soon. And then I'm thinking, I don't know if it's gonna be this episode or not, we'll probably cover walls at least getting started so I can go ahead and build them off camera because they will take a while. And then we'll go ahead and summon in a new guy, probably assign them to the mine so we can start getting some iron ore, which means we'll have to get a bunch of torches built up. And as you can see here, this building needs repairs now. That's because it's slowly taking damage over time. To get our guys to fix that for us, it shouldn't take but a second since we have so many resources laying around. And as you can see, I did kind of build different than my test play. There's not a fire near the crafting house. I might end up putting one over here just to keep us warm in winter so we can get some work done. And if I do that, I'll probably put it back here because we're going to need another one of these. And that way I can expand it out here and then we can just craft while the fire is hopefully close enough to keep us warm. All of our guys, we're keeping tools, knives, bows, pickaxes, large axes ready to go. And we're keeping a ton of heavy clubs in here so our bruisers can keep leveling up. But we're really not having too many issues right now. Blizzard's going on. Typically by now you want to have clothing and stuff built for yourself if nobody else, so that you can run around and do things without getting so cold, which is what we're about to go over now. But I did want to go over this too at the barracks and go ahead and show you that our guys are leveling up, so you can see here that their fighting skills are slowly climbing, which is good, so they can help us protect. We did get attacked by a bear. I'm probably going to try to make that into a short video. So every time I've played this game the last day or two of autumn, I get attacked by a bear. They're one of the strongest enemies in the game in my opinion, at least since the last time I played. And all we did was kite him around, kind of got him stuck inside of the healing hut, and while he was stuck on it, we just killed him. He'll be easier later on once we get better gear, but for right now he's hard to tangle with. The best thing to do, just distract him, keep him busy, and then eventually he'll leave. So if you're like me and you've been doing a lot of cooking, the good thing about that is it'll get your stats up as far as cooking, gathering go, and wood harvesting if you're gathering your own firewood. And if you're curious about your own stats, you can just press I. You'll see what levels you have down here at the bottom and your proficiencies and everything. And then you'll see your other basic stats up here at the top. And you can see we're currently being hit by a blizzard. I was hoping to cover some more stuff really quick, but while that's in place, I don't like standing around because you can see, if you look at our lower left corner, that the winter temperature is really affecting us quite fiercely. The only thing I really want to get done if we can is I went ahead and pre-built a bunch of pelts and hides, and then here I went ahead and stacked up on a bunch of linen, and here I went ahead and filled us up on the linen thread, and then on this side more linen, so that we can fast build a bunch of clothing and armor. So if you come over here to this menu right here, we can go ahead and build some for ourselves. If we come over here to this crafting bench, we could go ahead and build some for ourselves, but first we need to get some dry leather made. So let's go ahead and come over here to this crafting table. And this is inside the leather making hut, so we need to make a couple of these leather hides. I don't have a lot of leather scraps, so we can only show you how to make one. So just hit craft on that. And that's really going to limit our leather making skills and the armor, because I like to skip certain things, but we can make some now just to say we did, and our guys will wear it. Let me go warm back up by the fire really quick. And with our temperatures restored, let's come back over here. So I don't have any more leather scraps, like I said, so I can't build but certain things. Coming to here, I'd really like to build some of these leather gloves. I'd like to build the thick linen hood, which we can build that. We might actually build 3 of these, so some of our guys will grab them. So just hit craft on it. If you look here in the top right, you can see the stats on it. So cold resistance 84, rain protection 4, armor 10. So it's going to provide some protection for all of us, which is good. We can also build some of these capes. Again, cold resistance 60, rain protection 10, and they'll stack with the hood, so that's fine. And our stuff will auto equip. The rest of it we can either hand out to specific people, like our hunter would definitely appreciate a set, or we can hang it up on these dummies. Just walk up to one of the dummies, T to open storage, and you can place it on there. They'll come grab it as they need it. And you can see that we're getting less cold, so the resistance is definitely working. Now you can build some of the lower quality stuff if you want to, like the caps and everything. They just don't provide as much. But the things we want, like the tier 2 gloves, the tier 2 pants, tier 2 jacket, and the tier 2 boots, we're going to need more scraps because we don't have enough, because we need to make more of the leather pelts that are going to dry on this rack. Once they're dried on the rack, then we can take them. You can see here it's a cured leather hide now, so we now have one of those. That actually gives us just enough to make 1 thick linen shirt. Let's go ahead and craft it. It gives 315 cold resistance, 4 rain protection, and 50 armor. And it doesn't seem like much, but it will make a huge difference when you're out trying to gather and get things done. And I think that's really all we need to cover for winter, so I'm probably just going to play and push through winter so we don't have to keep dealing with the temperature and be running back and forth to a fire. Like I said, this is a good tip here. Back in the day, you used to have to build these everywhere to keep your guys warm. Now they maintain their own fires in the houses so they can stay warm. This one, will, like I said, will keep your melee fighters warm. If they're asleep at night and you don't have anything you can really get done while you're waiting on them to get up, if you want, you can come over here with your weapon and you can beat on these dummies, and it will level up your melee skills slowly. Or maybe you're fortunate enough to have a sibling or a significant other that has nothing better to do. Just have them sit over here and beat on the dummy, and your combat stats will go up. But like I said, you can test your range of the fire if you want. The way I just did is I just placed it down and see how far away I can get before it stops warming me. So guys, I'm going to push through this winter and I'll see you in a minute. So I just wanted to cover fishing really quick while I'm down here. I went ahead and caught 1 or 2 fish just so I could get the God's favor for it, because if you get your God's favor up, it helps a lot in the game. So make sure you're working on your task by pressing G. Check out these menus here. I believe the one I'm working on now is under survival. And there's a bunch of stuff you need to do. Then you can come down to the next tier, and this is how you tier your stars up, I believe. And then here it'll be hunt 3 big bears. Like a lot of more difficult things as you get higher and higher into it. And then you need to cook for some of that survival or food production. But you need to do a lot of cooking, so you'll need to make a dozen red steaks. You can do that on the barbecue grill. You need to gather 50 mushrooms, which is one of the achievements also. You need to cook 12 fried fish. I want to say each fish gives 2 fish each. So to catch your fish, first off, build a fishing rod. So you can do that on yourself in your own bushcrafting type menu. Then you just come over here and build a flimsy fishing rod. You can also make the bait here. You can also make it here at the shop on the crafting table. So we went ahead and made a bunch of bait because we're going to summon us a fisher soon. If we open the storage here, you can see I filled it up with some meat bait and berry bait for now, just to keep them working. Anyways, equip your fishing rod. I just come to the end of the dock and then just cast it out. I always aim at the fish. I'm not sure if that helps or not. Then you're going to watch your fishing rod. You'll see it get nibbles and bites. And right there was a twitch. You want to wait for it to do multiple twitches at once. It usually takes a couple of seconds. Of course, now we're being attacked, so we need to get back to the town. And there's the multiple twitches. Go ahead and left click and you'll catch you a fish. Now let's head back and defend our people. We shouldn't need to with our other guys there, but if they come in from the side away from our defenders, since we don't have any patrols set up, they will destroy and hurt people. And then the next step to fishing, once you have your fish, go ahead and just drop them on the ground so you can harvest them. Well, probably don't drop too many at a time because your warehouse guy will come and grab them. And then you're going to have to use your skinning level to harvest them. Make sure you pick up all the fish meat. That's what we need to cook. Okay, so we got some fish blubber off of one of them, which is used for making fish oil. And then we have 9 raw fish meat. So we'll have to go get some more to get the God's favor. I think we have to make a dozen. And then we'll come over here to the barbecue grill. Look at the rod above the fire. Press E. And then we can just right click. It'll put 5 of those on there. Watch the bottom bar once it's full. And they change states and names. Go ahead and pull them off. Otherwise, they'll burn. And so yeah, it looks like we need to cook 3 more of those. So we'll go ahead and pin that so we can keep a count on it. Keep a track of it. Pin our mushrooms too in case I see any. I haven't seen any because it's spring. I'm not sure if they grow in the spring or if we have to wait until the summer. But I'm going to try to knock all these out and get them done. And while we're waiting on that, we'll go ahead and start summoning us another villager in and assign him to fishing so we can get our food pile up. Like, we're doing pretty good on food now, so we can start having more and more people. Alright, let's go ahead and summon and see who we get. Then we'll have to check our bed space to make sure we have enough beds. You want to make sure they always have somewhere to rest. Let's see, we have Endo. He's really good at gathering and recovering his stamina. And then we have Ragnar, who wants to be awake at night. I like using night people to stock up the warehouse personally, but it would be a good time to have people training and to assign them to patrol at night as well. But let's go ahead and grab Endo just for the sunshine. And we have plenty of bed space. Both of our cottages are maxed out, so we can hold 12 people between the two, which means we'll probably get rid of this one shelter soon. So from there, I'm gonna go back to fishing for a minute and go ahead and knock that out so I don't have to deal with it anymore. We do have one more achievement, which will be to catch a rare fish. I have not done that yet. I'm not sure if we need to fish in the lakes, but I haven't done a lot of fishing. I've probably only caught 10 fish total. But I'll see you guys once I get that caught up, and I might knock out a few more. If you're trying to get the mushrooms, just run around pressing Z. Look around the trees and in the forest. That's usually where they're at. Well, I know this video is getting kind of random and put together quickly, but I'm trying to catch up to the new content, and I've had to make 2 or 3 different recordings to replace some stuff and sort of the build, so I've kind of lost my place here and there. Anyways, our village is currently up to 14, and if you come to the cooking house, again, you can see that we've signed 2 cookers here. That way we can keep our food stock up. They're leveling up, getting more proficient, so it's helping a lot. I went ahead and turned our road using a road maker, or not the road, the dirt, into a road using the road maker so that we can get around. So if you see our stamina right now while we're sprinting is slow burning. Now if we get on the dirt, you see it's fast. And then back on the road, and it slows right back down. So again, that's really important. You want to come over here to your crafting table and build your road maker and do that to all your dirt paths. We're going to build another one. And the easiest way to do this around your buildings, in my opinion, is just find where you don't have road and it's dirt, and just hit it one time, and it should be good to go. Now they do have the road planner now, so that should make it a lot easier. I actually haven't tried this because it didn't exist when I last played. Looks like it's going to build an actual road, but we need rocks for that. And I'm sure that saves even more. So we'll get into that one later. Right now, let me go ahead and just debuild this because I don't like where it's at. It's going to be in the way. But again, if you just take this and just turn the dirt into like a flatter rock environment, it does about the same thing. Anyways, we went ahead and added 3 more houses back here on the back and expanded. We put a path down here to go to the fisher hut, and we took the road maker and built a road all the way down to it so that they can get back and forth fast. And the reason I'm rushing right now, it's now autumn. I kind of get crazy when I was expanding this, so we expanded it out so we could fit 3 houses and the chieftain's house back here and built those, and that way we're now expanding it a little bit more. Either we could add more housing, or we might put the farms back here. I haven't decided yet. But once you get headed into your second winter, like we are right now, you will get notified that there is a portal, an invasion about to happen, a winter invasion portal. So it's right here on the map. Once you get notified, you can kind of run a circle around your base, and then it'll pop up on your map and be there, so you'll know it's coming. Then it'll give you a countdown. If you look in the top right below the minimap, it'll say invasion starting in 4 days. Usually I think you have about 21 days to get ready. Every invasion gets harder and harder, so you want to make sure you have armor, weapons, and tools. So we need to get into building our armor smith and a few other things before then, if we have time. I'd really love to get into iron so we can knock these birch trees down so I can actually get a proper defense over here. We probably won't be able to, but we'll make it work. Worst case, we'll leave this gate here, and we'll add another gate to the bottom so that they have to cross through 2 of them. And then I promised we would get to building walls. So there's not a lot to go over on the wall building. You can see that I've been leveling here. I also built a path up to the mine. So we're probably going to assign somebody to our mine so they can start mining. Now, if you have a torch and a large pickaxe, you can come in here and mine these walls that are in here. See if it'll show up. No, like right here, this is a cave wall. So you can mine that if you need to. And that should start giving you some of your first iron. I'm just going to assign somebody to it and let them do it, and then we'll go over how to actually take the iron and make it into weapons, tools, and armor. And then we need to lay down an armor smith house, but also to get an iron, we're going to need a bunch of other houses. We're going to do a second workshop, so I'll lay one of those down probably right back here, but I'm probably going to space it out because there's one building I like to put in between them, and that's going to be the coal maker. That way maybe I don't need a fire and I can just work the whole time while it's cooking coal. It's just it needs quite a little bit of space. So let's see how much more addition I would have to add to make this a reality. So that would have to go here. And we'd probably have to expand out even more. So we might not do that. Might just do a regular campfire. Then we can just set this somewhere up here out of the way. But you're gonna need the coal maker, at least one more workshop, because we need to get into the tier 3 buildings. Normally I'd be in tier 3 by now, but I'm taking my time and just trying to make sure I cover everything that we can. Like as a coal maker, then we need the armor smith building. It's really small, it's not too big. So that's it. That'll allow us to build the more advanced armors. Once we get those built, then we're also going to need the bloomery, which is going to take a little bit of space, but it's not going to be unlocked just yet until we get to some of the other items. And from there, we'll get into some of this more advanced stuff like the smoker pit, the cheese maker, the kycling pen. Like I'm not even sure what a lot of this is, but we'll get there when we get to it. So just bear with me, guys. Besides that, the only thing I promised to cover in here, because I'm going to build some of this off camera. Again, I'm trying to catch up to the new updates. We've already been over this in our other series, so there's no point in me really just taking my time going through every single little building. So we're going to get, like I said, we'll get all that built out. We'll get the armor smith built, coal maker built, another workshop hut. It's going to have the addition of the carpenter on one side though, and the other side will be metal worker. Then we'll get the bloomery built. It should all fit on this side, maybe with a little bit more expansion. And we're going to get a bunch of fences up. So it'll probably be after this winter, but I do plan in the next video to cover the invasion itself, even if I have to manually dodge and fight it the whole time. But if we come down here to our build menu, back to walls, and we come over here to our hedge gate, to me the best way to build your walls, figure out where you want your gate. So for me, I know I'm definitely going to want a gate right here on the mine. Like right there would look good, but I've been leveling the ground so that our fences would probably be a lot easier to lay out. So in my opinion, if you want to build your fence and get it to connect, because I've had issues getting mine to connect, you would set up your gate. I guess actually let's cancel this before they build it. Probably when you have 4 builders, they don't take long. But I would lay down a gate. So I would lay out my gate, build it first. Once the gate's built, then come back to your walls. Go to your hedge wall or whatever wall you want. There's the short one too, but I'm just gonna build the long one. And let's see if I don't know if I can do on this weird one. And then you would right click while looking at it, and that snaps it into place. Then you can use Q and E to rotate it. The only thing besides that to make a note of, it is hard to build. It doesn't like getting close to certain items like water, because we tried building one around the fisher's hut and it will not get really close to water. And there is a little bit of a height difference sometimes, which is usually not a big deal. Just make sure that when you build it, these, let me rotate it back around. Yeah, those red boxes right there, that is the outside of your fence. So make sure that faces outward, or you're not going to be able to build spike fences, and they will face in towards you. They will do a lot of damage and go a long ways towards protecting your base, and a lot of times it'll get you a lot of free meat and kills off of the deer, the fins, and the smokers. And anyways, what I would do is do that, then you're going to left click to place it, and if you want, go ahead and you can go ahead and build another one. Just press L. Make sure you get that little green, you want to see that little green marker right there pop up in between. It's hard on this one because it's an awkward spot. Once you see that, right click, it will snap into place. Once it's snapped in place, you can only move it back and forth, which is what you want. So make sure that you do that when you're building it so that you can complete your fence all the way around. Because if your fence is not connected, then it's going to say that your people still are not walled or fenced in. Now in this case right here, what we might do is take a fence off of this one, and we might just try to cut it straight across here and just box in our little houses by themselves, and then assign everybody to these back houses. Then their happiness should go up because they'll be walled in. And then we can work on walling in the rest of the village later. So guys, I'm gonna get to working on that, finish leveling this stuff out, and then we should be able to get our content out much faster. And I'm trying to get through all this before things get any harder in the game, as far as like double the size of Invasion and Blood Moons. So if you have questions, just leave it in the comments below. I'll get back to those as soon as I can. Like I said, hopefully in the next one we can cover some more of the advanced stuff, getting some of the dogs and Wolfgar pups and stuff running. So if you enjoyed that content, be sure to like and subscribe button, and I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.